Welcome back to Emporia, Kansas for the 2024 PDGA Professional Masters Disc Golf World Championships presented by Dynamic Discs. This is a PDGA Major event and we are super excited to bring you this coverage. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Dan Brooks-Wells. How's it going, Dan?
We are doing fantastic. Excited to see some more golf out here. Today is a scorcher. It's 101 degrees and the index, it feels like 108. It's also a lot windier than what we had round one.
Yeah, so pretty exciting card. Joe Rovere, Eric McCabe leading the way. We've got a new face, Mika Laikko, as well as Jeff Faes again for this round.
Yeah, yesterday we saw Joe have a little bit of a struggle in the wind. Some of our competitors got a few strokes on him. Let's see if he can fix it up here at hole one. This is a par 5, 999 feet. You got Obi on the left, Obi on the right. It's really just making sure you're staying on the fairway and trying to get down here as far as you can.
Yeah, we saw Joe absolutely torch this course in round one with a 12 under par. Built himself up a nice 4-stroke lead. We'll see if he can keep that going here in round 3. It's off to a good start.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. And you don't need too much off the tee. And here is the local pro, former world champ, Eric McCabe.
Gives this one a nice pull. Checks up nicely there. We've got Mika Laikko all the way from Finland here for Masters Worlds. It'll be great to see him for the first time here on coverage.
Yeah, absolutely love to see it. He gets a nice flexing shot out here to the right and going to be perfectly positioned.
And from Fair Oaks, California.
Yeah, last but not least, Jeff Faes, team MVP. Find himself on the lead card for the second round in a row. This one's leaking a little left, but should check up.
Hopefully you get down.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, that'll do.
This hole one here, pretty, as we saw in round one, if you can keep yourself inbounds, should be a pretty straightforward birdie opportunity. That first shot quite a ways downhill, so anything in the fairway can set you up to bite off a good chunk on this second. Well thrown there from Joe. We'll probably have less than 200 feet into the basket. Get his round started on the right foot.
Yeah, and as you can see, the wind here is picking up. These guys are probably just looking to throw something pretty overstable in their bag. And again, 350-foot hyzer, 350-foot hyzer, and you're left with just a little chip shot into the pin.
Yeah, I would think that a little windier day will definitely come into play more on the putting green for these guys. I think a lot of this course anyway is still kind of relying on overstable discs to make your way around. There's not too many multi-angle shots. So, but putting obviously can always be an adventure with some gusty winds going on. So, we'll
yeah, and we saw
react.
Yeah, well, I was going to say we saw that a little bit yesterday. Some short putts that you would expect all of these guys to drain. They just had a little bit of trouble. So let's see if they're able to pick it up here today and kind of react to this wind in a little better fashion.
It's a nice upshot there from Laikko. These types of shots too are going to be a big factor. You don't want to give yourself 20-25 footers in this wind. You want to make sure that you're putting the disc right next to the basket like Jeff Faes does right there.
No putting is good putting.
Exactly. Yeah, these guys, I was saying under 200 feet. They've got like less than 100 feet into the pin here. Like that's like an 80-footer that McCabe has no desire to run, but Yeah, like it looks like
There's
the
a good
lead card
putt.
is picking up just as we would expect them to. Going to be tap-ins all around for a nice start right here.
Absolutely. And this is a good hole to get your round started. Not too much danger in OB for the most part. Well done by our card. We are going to hole 2. This is a par 4, 745 feet uphill. OB on this left side, and basically natural OB if you're throwing off into those trees. We get a blind shot into this pin with just a few guardian trees. So from what we saw from round 1, we got a lot of turnover backhands or slow turning backhands. The wind makes it challenging today. And Joe's able to get this one really high and just let it glide all the way out.
Yep, good angle control there. Never really testing the big tree in the middle or that OB on the left-hand side. Pretty much exactly what you're looking for. This is in trouble, though.
Oh, no. He knows it. Maybe he was expecting the wind to kind of push it off to the right. And I think he's OB pretty early. Kind of where it starts.
Yeah, probably just right around that corner there at the bottom of the hill, which it's going to be a long upshot into the green.
And you can see Mika kind of overcorrect off of Eric's mistake in finding that tree. Easy to do. And Jeff is really the only one on our card who likes the forehand. We saw it a few times yesterday. I'm sure we'll see it a few times today. It's the safe play, but he also catches that tree.
Yeah, I think in general this course does suit well for the power. It's just a bit of a misrelease there. Power forehand, power backhand combo. If you've got that, we saw Aaron Gossage in the World Championships here in 2022 really take advantage of that. So we'll see if Jeff can kind of do the same here and maybe make up some strokes on these guys that are relying heavily on the backhand. This is a wonderful shot.
Wow.
From Laikko.
That was ripped.
From the bottom of the hill, he gets all the way up to the basket and parks it.
That was incredible. Here's McCabe taking the hyzer route, kind of swinging it around those trees. And this is a fantastic shot, too, from where he was. He'll be inside the circle.
Yeah, a chance to save the par. Wow, these guys with some absolute rips from the bottom of the hill there. Making this hole look way easier than it is. That is a really demanding shot. And Joe can go spike hyzer over the top.
Sit.
Maybe not a bad roll. Ends up inside the circle, at least.
Someone again right now. Correct.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that.
Here it comes.
Yeah, so Faes now. This is looking to get up and down to save the par. Use it a little bit wide, but gets a nice roll back to about circle's edge. So 3 of these guys with some tricky putts.
I believe they have either a little bit of a head or a little bit of a crosswind. You can see that one just kind of drop.
Yeah, it looks
These
like
are
a bit
all...
of-
Yeah, I was going to say, these are all testers from this distance for sure. Definitely harder than day one.
Just a bit off from Rovere. See if McCabe can make the correction. Yeah, head left to right wind. Ooh, spins it in.
Very
That's a
nice.
Great par save after going out of bounds early.
And a drop-in birdie for Mika. Absolutely fantastic upshot. Not a bad way to get your round started for Mika. 2 for 2. Faes, unfortunately, taking the bogey. We are moving on to hole 3, par 3, 466 feet. OB path on the right, OB on the left, and OB deep as well. It's pretty severely downhill drop, and it can become a low ceiling if the disc is off to the right. So you'll see a lot of these guys throw like a hyzer flip on this left side.
Yep, that is what Laikko is trying to do, but pretty common mistake we're seeing on this hole is just burns it over a little bit. It's very difficult to get that angle control along with pushing the ceiling correct. Throwing the backhand line on this one. This one might be a little better if it holds on.
It gets down there a ways. If you have the disc off to the left and kind of testing the tree just as Joe did, you can leave the disc a little higher, which gives it room to work its way down. And McCabe hits the tree.
Yeah, left it a little too far left on that one.
It's going to be a tough up and down from there.
Surprised we don't see a forehand from Jeff on this one, but
if you're going for the birdie, it's really tough to get there with the forehand. I think the backhand might, get him a better look. There's McCabe on his approach. Just buttery.
yeah, not easy approaches here with the downhill. Got to have that distance control dialed in, but these guys both throw it very well, are going to have stress-free par saves. This is most likely just a layup as well, although he's thinking about it.
Nah. Nothing to really think about in this wind. You just want to make sure you get those as close as you can. Rovere has to deal with this large tree, and that seemed to be just a little layup as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised he straddled out all the way to the left there. It looked like he could have just went on the right side. I wonder if that was more of a wind decision. Didn't want to put it on hyzer or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think you're absolutely right. One here is dropping in their pars, which is not a bad score here on hole 3.
Ricky, distance driver in hand. What? What just happened? What just happened? Wysocki blows up the basket on the 16. I don't know what that is, but it definitely bombs.
Visit quirkygoodies.com today. We have over 100 fun, unique disc golf tees along with hats, stickers, metal wall art, and much more. Use code PDGA20 for 20% off.
Here we are at hole 4. This is a par 3, 466 feet. OB on the left, so you got to watch out for that. OB green to watch out for as well.
It's just a nice wide hyzer for these guys. Something that you know is going to come back at the end. This one kind of is a little late to swing in. Going to leave Laikko out in deep circle too.
You can see the wind on that, on the flag on the basket is pushing left to right. So you got to be careful that this wind does not push you onto that ball golf green.
Yeah,
Looks like Rovere. Yeah, it seems like you put enough hyzer on it. But it's tough to trust all the power as well.
Yeah, I mean, that disc was on hyzer and kind of moving right. That's
Yeah.
how strong these Emporia winds are. It's kind of counterintuitive on a hole like this, but you kind of got to just aim straight at the basket. Or maybe not. That's kind of what McCabe did there, and leaks left OB.
Man, when you trust the shot you're supposed to throw, and then the wind doesn't do what you expect it to, that's just a killer.
Yeah, Jeff with kind of a pump fake there, waiting for the wind to die down. This is looking like it's on a nice line. Oh yeah, scoots up nicely inside the circle.
Beautiful.
Tailwind putt for McCabe can definitely give this one a bid.
Oh, let's go.
Left
He's
side.
He's had some great saves here. I mean, really the last 3 holes.
putt is really keeping him in it. See if Joe can match. Got a bit of a headwind on his putt. Yes, sir.
Very good. We said Joe struggled with putting in the wind yesterday, but today, not so much.
Yeah, solid so far. So that one comes up a bit short for Laikko. Putting is going to be really the great equalizer out here. You know, it's hard to park holes when it's this windy. You're going to have a lot of shots that just kind of don't exactly fly how you'd expect them to, and end up at circle's edge or just outside the circle. So any of those 30 to 40 footers that you're able to knock down are going to be strokes on the entire field.
Here we are at hole 5. This is a par 4, 675 feet. OB on the left, OB cart path on the right. The green plays somewhat like a peninsula. You can kind of choose your route. So landing position is really important on this one. Whether you like to throw a hyzer, you like to throw up the middle, or you like to throw up the left. And Rovere getting it out to the right here. And coming up short. That's definitely not what he was looking for.
Yeah, just a bit low released there. Gonna have a much longer upshot, but he can probably just take that big wide hyzer into the green out and around, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. This one is leaking left for Faes, and that is going to find that left side out of bounds. This is more what you want.
Yeah, something just hugging this path on the right side and letting it hyzer in. Anything over that cart path, you're going to have a shot up into the green.
Yeah, I used to think that it was better to be like left or right side on this hole. But when we saw the guys throw it in round 1, McCabe and Joe Rovere both got well far enough up much like he just threw there. Another great drive that you can kind of just go up the middle and pick a route and make it work.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Joe here is going up the right side. A little too big of a skip.
Yeah, all the way across to the left side out of bounds. So the first really sign of struggle here for Joe Rovere. And
oh, no. So that looked like it was safe and then cut rolled OB. So at least he'll most likely be able to move up if that's the case. And here's that down the middle shot, you know. He does swing it right to left, and beautifully done. Just something overstable on that right side. Letting it hook back in. And McCabe is left with a similar shot. Looks like he's taking a slower speed disc and just scooting it right up there.
Yeah, that is the textbook way to play this hole. Just boost your drive way down there, and he's left with not much on his upshot. That's a good scramble shot from Jeff Faes to kind of stop the bleeding. But yeah, this fairway tightens up as you get closer to the green, so not that much left to right space to work with those out of bounds on each side. Very easy to make the mistake that we saw 2 of our players make.
Yeah, these OB strokes can add up really quick. Faes unfortunately taking a double there. We do have 2 birdies on the card and 1 other bogey. No time to think about that. We got to go to hole 6. This is a par 3, 300 feet. Stock shot. The wind is going to make it tough with the elevated basket. That's kind of the only challenge on this one, I would say.
Yeah, this is one where you might have to think about a putt if you somehow leave yourself out in circle 2. Could get into a little bit of trouble, but a hole like this, you've got to put yourself close. Just really nothing in the way.
Just kind of like that.
Yep, 2 well-thrown shots so far. See if Joe can do the same. This is looking nice.
It'll be inside the circle as well. Probably scooted away a little farther than what's comfortable. in this windy day.
Yeah, I think all of these guys so far would like to be a little bit closer. This is exactly how you draw it up. Jeff going to be well inside the circle there, but a couple of circles edge putts. And yeah, there you go. Just not even thinking about running it for Mika Laikko. Just lays it up.
Yeah. It's amazing how that works sometimes. These elements really challenging. Here's Rovere for his birdie putt, looking back at the basket. Nice.
Knocks it down. It's a big one to pick up and bounce back from that bogey.
Here is McCabe just inside of Rovere, trying to follow that line. Well done.
Yeah, he knocks it down as well. 2 big putts there for the 2 guys leading the way at 18 under par.
Jeff Faes is a little farther than I thought he was. Just scoots out the left side.
Yeah, so Rovere and McCabe continue to kind of separate themselves from this card.
Plenty of holes left.
Nobody is immune to a course like Northwood Black.
Just throwing laser beams.
That's so good.
Bresnell, the birdie, the fist pump.
Critical shot.
Gotta get up. Bresnell.
That is a shot of a champion.
Your 2024 Champions Cup winner, Andrew Bresnell.
Hole 7, par 4, 678 feet, teeing off from OB. OB on this right side, and then there is also OB on the left side. The green is somewhat guarded by these trees here. So the tee shot is very tight, and it becomes a little bit of a low ceiling as well. So you're really looking to rip something straight and have it just keep straight. And here is the main mistake we see, is this fading off to the left a little too fast. But McCabe just catches a little bit of green and stays in bounds.
Yeah, you really want to try to push this ceiling off the tee as much as possible with that high floor coming into play. This one leaks a little left too, but this doesn't have quite as much hang time on it, so it does find the ground in bounds. This is more what you're looking for.
Great shot.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Seemed like the wind even dropped that a little bit, but he'll be in a fantastic spot to approach the green. Just kind of a hyzer in from there. See if Faes can follow suit. It looks like the wind is pushing these discs down. You could see he didn't even get to the next OB patch. Ground just kind of caught it.
Still reachable for the birdie, though, if he can put a good move on this one. It is a nice shot, but it still comes up quite a bit short.
Yeah, after that drive getting knocked down, par is just fine. Here is Rovere. He's sending a missile out.
Oh, it checks up nicely.
And this is kind of an ideal spot right here. You can take the straight at it route, or you can take the hyzer, but just leaving it a bit low, he's going to want that one back.
Yeah, pretty much a picture perfect drive from there where Laikko was, and just didn't give it the height. I mean, there is a ceiling you have to contend with, right? We saw McCabe just catches it there a little bit, drops his disc down short, so worth keeping in mind, but still a very executable upshot that these guys both just left on the table. Ooh, a little bit of a run there.
Yeah. Sneaks by the basket a little farther. That might be a little tester coming back.
Yeah, this is a bit uphill, so definitely something, an upshot you could potentially give a floaty bid to, but a nice tap in par is not bad either. It's a really great
There's a good
straddle
cleanup
putt.
putt.
Joe Rovere
This is
going to
like
be the only birdie.
very nice birdie. That's kind of the farthest I'd want to be away from that basket in that wind. That's it.
That's the comfortable putting distance. 8 feet.
8 feet, no more. We are here at hole 8. This is a par 5, 886 feet. OB on the right of that cart path, OB on the left in the rough. Kind of thins out in the fairway once you get up this hill. You got to go back down this hill, landing zone somewhere in here, and then you can approach the basket. So OB everywhere, and this wind definitely is going to make that challenging. So for round 1, we saw a lot of guys check up and throw a slower speed disc just to stay in the fairway.
Yeah, probably the smart play, especially in windier conditions that we have here for round 3. Just something slow, something that isn't going to move too far left or right. Although this is...
Get back.
Wow, what a break.
Unreal. You gotta love it.
Gosh. Just kind of like air hockey pucking down the fairway, down the cart path. That is a great break for McCabe.
Here's Mika Laikko. Does that sit? I think it did.
Wow, we're seeing some great breaks so far on this hole. These guys, that was a faster disc from Mika, and you can see the danger, right? That thing, once it started to get moving left, it was not going to stop. And yeah, there's the same thing from Jeff. So
yeah, Jeff Faes, I think he left his higher than the other players, and the wind just kind of took it over.
Yeah, so Joe, after going mid-range, is a little farther down the hill, but can set him up nicely to go with this fuller shot on his second. If that holds on the left side, I think it just barely does. It's kind of just a nice turnover up the hill. You want to leave it a little more right than you think, because that downhill on the second half of the shot will kind of hold the disc.
Yeah, this one's a little bit right as well, and he does not get the hockey puck kick, and it does stay OB. And Jeff, after going OB, is taking the forehand route. This is a good play because the hill kind of slopes right to left, so the disc is more likely to check up as it does, and he'll have a nice look into the basket to save his par. Mika Laikko is in a similar position as Jeff. He is going to take the backhand route. He's got to be careful to not let it slide too far left towards the water.
Ooh, a little knurl there. And it looks like it holds on.
Wow. Oh, man. It doesn't get much closer than that. But once you are over here, you're left with a pretty open shot into the pin. You do have to test this water, though.
Just a nice little chip forehand. Kind of a weird reaction there, but
yeah,
drops down close. It's going to be another 8-footer coming up. That perfect putting distance.
A little forehand out of Mika as well. That high-speed disc kind of scoots out, probably a little farther than he wanted. We'll see how he handles that. Jeff, wow, did you see the wind just push that?
Yeah, such a weird ground action there on this. Yeah, that was just a putter, and it just kind of turbo boosted after it hit the ground.
I never gave it the energy to really get into the chains. Just leaving it a bit low.
So Faes here, this will be a par save. Looks like he's got a lull in the wind at the moment. Can he take advantage? Just a bit high.
Fortunate to hit the flagpole, or else that could have been looking at the same distance the other way.
This is a birdie look for Laikko from about 24 feet. Yes, sir.
Very nice. Mika having a good round so far. Hot round yesterday. He get him onto this lead card.
Yeah, you'd like to think if he, in his head, he's probably thinking if he can just kind of hang around in this round here at Champions Landing, they go back to Jones East again tomorrow. So he can definitely make another move and maybe catch these guys at the top of the leaderboard if he's able to replicate it.
Fortunate bogey for McCabe. But we are moving on to hole 9. This is a par 4, 693 feet. OB on the left, OB on the right, following this fairway all the way up in dog legs to the right. And then this is a tough green to access, kind of no matter where you land off your drive. So you can land straight inbounds here, or you can try and push it a little bit up and to the right. This needs to get down. Whoa, that's inbounds.
That's his second 50-50
Oh, man.
line straddler that we've seen today. And that's going to put Joe in a great spot. I mean, the ideal drive is to be as close to this cart path as possible while staying in. As Mika just barely leaks out, trying to bite off a little more. But yeah, because that opens it up for the big turnover shot on the second if you're trying to bogey it.
Yeah, and here's McCabe. This one is drifting right, kind of how you want here if it's not too far to the right. But he also finds the out of bounds, so they will go to the drop zone.
Which is nearly unsavable.
Yeah.
Pretty punishing drop zone. This is a great shot from Jeff.
Very nice. And that is also close to OB, so he's going to be more pinched off than what Rovere is. And here you can see the drop zone, and you are just trying to throw a towering Anheuser shot to push it up there. But you've got to be careful of OB on this shot as well.
Oh, what a break. Kicks out, back in the fairway.
He's taking a deep breath. It's all good. Inbounds is good. McCabe going with a slower disc, and he just doesn't want anything to do with this wind and anything to do with the OB up top.
Joe's in a pretty similar spot to where he was in round 1. Was able to basically park it from there. This time just a little lower, a little less Annie, and a bit of a safer release. This hole, as if it wasn't hard enough in this wind, is quite difficult.
Here's McCabe. He's trying to save his bogey. Seems like he gave himself a putt.
Yeah, should have a chance.
Yeah, and here's Faes. This is that shot I was talking about in round 1 where you're just putting an insane amount of Anheuser on an overstable disc, just like he does. That was a really good shot from where he was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to have a putt from there, but just to have a nice, easy par is great on this hole. Even this is still a tough up and down for Laikko.
Right, we're not sure which way the wind is pushing, so they're also dealing with that. He does leave that a little left, a pretty obstructed putt from there.
Yeah, hole 9, it did play, unsurprisingly, as the hardest hole on the day. And yeah, you can see as these guys play it just why that's going to be a nice stress-free par for Joe.
Right, par is fantastic, fantastic score here today. Faes going to the knee to kind of stay under that wind. Well executed by him. And this isn't even really a putt. That'll be fine.
So this is a bogey save. It was a great shot.
So McCabe has
McCabe.
saved, yeah. Putting woes there. A little upset with himself after that Cole deciding to lay up and then trying to save his bogey from at the bottom of the hill. They lost the disc.
Only 2 birdies on the day on hole 9. Joseph Culp and Tall Paul Oman. This 5.08 average basically played as a par 5. So these guys, 2 pars, 2 double bogeys on this hole is obviously not what they wanted, but is very understandable.
There we have it. That is our front 9 results. Rovere coming out with a hot front 9 so far with 4 down. The only other under par is Mika Laikko. Here's our
These
leaderboard.
players trying to make a push. Joni Lumi also at 4 under par. We'll see what these guys can do on the back 9. I'm sure plenty more stroke swings coming your way, so make sure to tune in, and we'll see you there.